How are you, Kyle?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great, thanks, man. Nice to speak to you again.
You too. I'm so excited that we have a reason to talk again with this new album.
Yeah, me too. Just rehearsing it at the moment. Really enjoying it.
Cool. Well, it sounds beautiful. I was thinking, and I won't traipse into your personal life here, but the last time we spoke, you had, I think, just gone through like a divorce, and now I hear that you're newly married.
That's right. Yeah, the word doesn't slow down, does it, for anybody?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So I got married in June. I've married the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, Rachel Sterling. She's an actress. She's the daughter of Diana Rigg.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm a very happy man. It's all going very, very well.
Well, that must be why I'm fairly certain that you're the only musician putting out optimistic lyrics right now.
Well, that was a conscious decision on the part of the whole of Elbow, with things being so desperately dark as they are and have been, not just for 2016, they've been desperately dark for a decade now. Mm-hmm. It just got to a bit of a boiling point, I felt, last year, and the working title of the album was Love, because we decided that that's what we should be promoting, that's what we should, In the past, I think we've been conscious that if there were too many celebratory, uplifting, hopeful songs on a record, maybe we'd be like, is that cool? Or is that, is the balance right with the record? Or is it too uplifting, too pleasant? And then this time I was like, there's never been a more important time than to try and inspire hope in people and try and lift their spirits, even for the duration of a pop song is it's something we felt we needed to do.
Well, I'm really glad you did, too. I mean, nothing against... I'm enjoying the protest songs, but we really do need a balance out there. So, I think
I think it's a good tactic to completely ignore these things and offer escapism in a record. I mean, I do talk and sing about my politics on the record. The song K2, for instance, was written before Britain decided to leave the European Union and after, before the Brexit vote and after. And my utter despair with the decision that was made, and everybody I know, actually, their utter despair at leaving Europe and, and getting involved with Donald Trump as our elected leader seem to be doing now. It's just appalling. So there's bits of that on it, and there's a whole lot of love as well.
Well, and when we get into the first single especially, Magnificent, you've always written in such a cinematic way, I guess, but this song really does read like a screenplay. Like, I can see the movie happening right there.
That's very kind of you, Kyle. Yeah, I was on my honeymoon in Sardinia, which is a beautiful place if you've never been. It's an island off Italy. It's just so beautifully hot, and every morning I was being woken up by the sounds of kids playing in the edge of the sea. There is no better sound to wake up to. Really amazing. And I was talking to my wife about her memories of being a kid, and did she love beachcombing? And she said, oh, yes. And she said, finding the pieces of glass that had been worn into pebbles, it was like finding gems. And then she said, it was finding gems. They were few and far between and precious. And there was just one area of the resort we were staying in where you could have internet access. And I asked her if she minded if I did a little bit of writing while we were away on a honeymoon. She said, no, of course. So I went to the cafe where you got your internet reception, and the flood of bad news was so jarring. I couldn't wait to sort of go back into the bubble. And that's when I decided that we could all do with this open-minded trust that children are born with. And the idea of a little girl stood at the edge of the sea, this vastness and this, innocent little girl. I thought, we could all do with that trust, with that open-mindedness and that, babies share their food naturally. If you go near a baby that's eating, you put your face close enough, it'll share its food with you. It takes quite a lot of hard work to turn us into hardened, hating people,
Yeah. I think you get that line there that the world doesn't even know how much it needs this little girl.
Yeah, that's how it felt,
And then I'll turn to the second single too with All Disco, which I've read that you guys were sort of looking back at the '60s in that, and if that's true, then the first time I heard it, I could hear the Youngbloods' "Let's Get Together" right at the beginning, that little guitar part. It's not the same thing, but it almost harkens to it,
Yeah, and we threw in some Velvet Underground as well, and the chorus lyric on All Disco was inspired by Frank Black of the Pixies.
Oh, right, yeah. An interview you guys were doing, right?
That's right, in Lynchburg, Tennessee, some years ago. And it was him. I asked him where his musical direction was going, and he said, "Oh, soul, punk, art rock, it's all disco," and it's just always stuck with me. I think I couldn't have written that chorus a few years ago. I couldn't have written those words convincingly, but there was. I heard of a young musician, a British musician I admired very much, and I played on my program, dying, and there was no details as to how he died, which is always horribly suspicious. And I could hear in his music quite how much of himself he was putting into his songs. And it really affected me. And for the next couple of days, I was properly jarred by this. I'd never met the guy. Mm-hmm. I guess it's just, I suppose, my territory. I've been a young man in music. I've been a young man who wasn't succeeding in music, and it crosses your mind as a career option to die, given the sort of crazy complexity of how people react to dead musicians, like the way they're held up and revered. And that's what prompted me to write the song, Mm-hmm. But it was so heavy and it was so dark. And then Charles's words came back to me. Yeah. And I was like, let's lighten this up with a bit of joie de vivre.
I mean, you talk about that, and it's true, because obviously we've been able to sort of analyze that a lot over the past year, considering how many we lost in 2016. But these are people, and you yourself included. We take you with us where we don't take anyone else. In the privacy of earbuds or in the bedroom with a closed door, and you live in these songs with.
There's more people doing it than ever before. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their collection with them at all times.
We gonna see you guys stateside this year?
Yes, hopefully. We're putting a plan together at the moment. We haven't got dates yet, but later in the year, we're really hoping to get out there. And it'd be really nice to see Kentucky again. It's been too long.
Oh, please do, man. If you come here, and if you don't, I'll travel to you, whatever it takes. I'm going to see an Elbow show this year. That's going to happen.
My two good friends are from Louisville.
Oh, really?
The Watson twins?
Oh, yeah, we know them very well.
Right. So, yeah, they, in fact, Leela made me a compilation of up-and-coming stuff where when she was living in Silver Lake with her sister, she made me a compilation which led me to so many bands that are in my top 10, My Morning Jacket, Jessica Hoop, a ton of stuff. It was, I think, the best compilation I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you guys this year. Again, thank you for the music. Little Fictions is just a fantastic, beautiful record.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Lovely to talk to you again.
You too, Guy. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, man.
All right, take care.